Well, here's the goal. Fix the engine in that 911. Bore it, make it a 3.8. It's a 3.6. It's a 997.2. And can I fix it for under 10,000 bucks? So here's the goal. I found, and you guys may remember, this engine. It was complete, but it was burned. It came out of a 7,000 mile 4S, 996.2 4S that it was in a carport. The carport caught in fire. The fire fell down on top of the car, and the car was caught in a fire. So the intake manifolds, they melted on the motor, and junk went down in the intake manifolds, and we tried to vacuum it out. I should have bore scoped it and stuff, but I didn't. I wanted to try to run it, and something got down inside the motor right there and dinged it, right? That really didn't create a problem. I mean, it did because it's got a little ding on the cylinder heads. But kind of right there. But the whole goal was that car's original engine blew up. It lost a valve seat. Let's take a look at that. Hold on. All right. This head was off the car on the lift. And look at that, 90,000 miles this motor had. Look how clean that is. Anyways, it dropped a valve seat for really no reason at all. They were just cruising around and it dropped and it started breaking up. And when it started breaking up, pieces of the valve seat, it sounded like a click. It almost sounded like bore score. But then, of course, it got really bad and then it started losing cylinder pressure and then it lost the cylinder. It was running on 5 cylinders, right? And then eventually this kind of stuff got into the bore and then it cracked the bore of this motor. And then we dart and sleeved this block, or the block that was originally with this. So I don't know if I'm going to reuse these heads down the road on another project. I might, because here's the thing. This could happen to any of these other valves. And these motors, engines, are known for that, right? So at about $5,000 a head or a little more, and that problem happens anyway, it might be better just to have aftermarket seats put in it, all new valves put in it, and then I know what I got, because these heads don't have any cracks. Well, now we need to check it for cracks, and I don't know. By the time we weld this chamber up and repair it, I don't know. We got to kick it around. I don't know what we're doing on there, but that's not the biggest problem. The biggest question is, can I build a motor cheap, like Chevrolet style, right? Or Ford or Toyota or whatever. This is the motor that had the cracked liner. Or block. So we had LA sleeves put in it and bore it to a 3.8. So now this is a 3.8. So this was the original engine in the car. The plan is to take the heads out here off this 7,000 mile engine, put them on that car. So this complete engine cost $5,000. Plus a gasket set, plus the pistons, plus the Molly pistons. And then you'll see my other little hack. Sorry, we're walking around this place like crazy. My other little hack was the circlip install. So I didn't have to buy that tool. Everything else is basic hand tools. We did put the IMS in it. And this is an automatic car. So we did the pressure lube one, right? Because we're not going to be taking it out to do a clutch. And when I bought the IMS install kit, it also just happens to have the pin to lock the crank and the timing tools. So I don't need to buy timing tools. So that is going to work out pretty good. So we're going to end up with a 3.8 with an IMS, with a pair of 7,000 mile heads, and the tensioners and all that are off that 7,000 mile motor. And we're going to see, and we bought a set of gaskets for it. And we will redo the injectors because the motor had 97,000 miles on it. And we will see if this thing responds to, just like every other regular engine, right? You can see how the water got up in this thing at one time. You kind of can't see it that well. Oh, you can kind of see the exhaust ports aren't really that bad. The intake, you could see where the standing water is. But like we said, chambers are excellent. I didn't even put these in solvent. That's just a little brake clean to clean it up. I could probably reuse the spark plugs really if I wanted, and we might try it. Seals look really good. I could pull them out. Yes, I could polish the valves and clean them up, and I could touch up the valve seats, and I could skim cut the head, and you know, I'm just gonna do old school and clean that up, you know, like I was at a dealership, not a Porsche dealership, like an American car dealership, you know, where the engines are relatively cheap, although they're not even cheap nowadays. But you can see that's one of the bores that had water in it, obviously, right? That's the other one. That's, you know, that coincides with two of those bores, right? So 1 and 2, I think. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4, 5, 6. So I'm not cleaning it up. The valves are, we're gonna lube the valves from the top, old school. I'll probably put some down in through it. I just blew all this off, cleaned up the gasket surface, blew it off, just like you would flat rate an engine. And we're gonna see if it works. And this car's gonna be around, so we'll know if it works more than, you know, a couple weeks, or it's a driver that stays around with us for a little while. So that's it, man. That is the challenge this time. Can I possibly rebuild this thing on the cheap? And then that one's going to cost a little more because we got to do tensioners and guides and, you know, stuff like that. It's going to have to be replaced on this one. But all in all, that is the plan. And then I can always sell this motor, right? If I sell this motor, even as the short block, because the bottom end is already paid for. We paid Nicky's to, we put a deposit. Well, we actually paid for this block to be bored already. We just, or resprayed, re-nickel-sealed or nickel-locked, whatever he does. And this one's going to a 3.8 also. So that's it, guys. That is the plan. Maybe that's not going to 3.8. I don't remember. Anyways, stay tuned. It's going to be interesting. Like, comment. I'm sure I'm going to hear some comments from the purists about this one, but you know, I've been doing this a long time, and that's how we would typically do stuff. So we'll see if it works on a Porsche too. Or is Porsche really that precise where we got to get in here and not that it's not that precise. Will it survive doing this kind of stuff, which is really a testament more to the endurance of the cars, right? Because I bet it will. I bet, you know, I bet it'll be perfectly fine just putting the heads on that block. So, all right, like, subscribe. That's it. I'll catch you on the next video, guys.